Alright, so I'm back. I'm going to attempt to do the Forsen, so-called Forsen run, which is a run where you don't save, or well, you don't pause the game, you don't redo any instances, you fight the zone and you move on, and you don't obviously trade in solo self-found hardcore. I've already had one attempt which went very, very well with a witch, where I ended up casting elemental skills because of the items I got. I got maybe a bit overconfident and attempted to bone cage AoE monsters in the hunting grounds, which went very, very poorly. And you can watch the short clip in the video that I've uploaded to my YouTube channel if you're interested in seeing how that went. It wasn't that difficult. Carrying me through was the staff incredible. I'm going to attempt the same class to see if I get into that same situation, if maybe I'm in the same situation where I get a good staff and I end up doing the same thing. Oh, I just need to make sure I name it right. Hardcore runs Forsen. There we go. Hardcore runs Forsen. No idea if I'm capitalizing here. There we go. Attempting the same class gives me a chance to see how can I improve. What did I do wrong? What do I need to be conscious about? Not having minions, definitely not a strong suit, for sure. So it's not something that I consciously attempt. It's simply because the items, the staves with spell levels and the added spell damage in the beginning is superior to anything else. So the main annoying thing with this game mode is that you have to clear everything, right? I would never ever fight all of these guys. I would skip them like there's no tomorrow. But the XP, to my knowledge, is necessary. So anything that you can kill in the zone that you're allowed to do is necessary for your power creep. When you simply do not have when you don't have anything else going for you, because with no trade, with no stash filled with goodies, and limited access to the vendors, anything that is going to be pretty important, and no redo of the zones, you need to basically kill everything. Right. So I do have a bit of starter gold here, and I'm going to try not to use this in the early game, and then once I get slightly higher up, maybe I'll use it. I don't consider this particularly important. The small amount of gold can be valuable for some things, but if there's this particular item that I can just afford, I'm not going to purchase it. But we do need to pick up anything to sell for gold. Being able to do an absolute clean reset, I think, is a major flaw of this game. I would always want to be able to reset completely when doing these type of challenges, because even the slightest amount of help from your from your stash, from the history of your game, the current season, is going to potentially is potentially going to make your game experience be a lot easier, which is not the intention. You're playing this type of game to actually get a bit of a challenge out of the game. So I expect to die many times doing this. I don't expect this to be easy at all. I expect this to be hard as F for me. Right. So I think actually my last playthrough time was pretty quick. I'm not sure I could have done it much quicker. I was spending a bit of time at the vendor, sussing out if there's something that I could maybe purchase or take advantage of or anything, but I couldn't really find that. So anyway, so this is not like an explanatory video series. This is simply me playing the game and having a bit of a chat about what I'm doing and why, and what I'm thinking might be some of the more challenging things about this. And so one of the, generally one of the strategy is that to the highest possible degree, killing or just focusing down the boss is always going to be the best move. The sooner the fight ends, the better. I remember in the beginning of the first season, getting a unique from the miller was very commonplace. I've had many uniques or legendaries, drop from this guy. Maximum life. An amulet with energy shield already, I'm more happy. I mean, if I can get an energy shield set up in the early game, that's what I'm going for. I saw that I'm not using any of it. Let's see. So I'm using now. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the temporary stash. Temporary stash for the loot. On the gem side, these doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep these the support gem. I'm going to destroy, of course. Shock gem, destroy, but the others don't matter. I'm just going to, because you get so many and you're never going to be in that situation where you need to, them. Alright. So I have about 100 gold now. That's the assumption. So maybe Renly has something that's very inexpensive for my headpiece. Or not really. Boots. Okay, no magical boots. That's... oh well. I guess it's one of those runs. I'm going to head out. I don't need that as well. What? I have to pick something. Skeletal sniper. Guess. Alright. Adding a skeletal sniper to the... there we go. Head out. Yeah. So the early game clearing now becomes a major nuisance because this takes a long time for sure. It's not dangerous, but the boredom is going to kill you. So I think I can stand one of those hag hits without dying. Jesus. Without the unearth. This is why getting one of those elemental staves is absolutely killing it. Like the staff that I have in my stash, the one with extra level 3 staff would simply destroy this content. Okay. Let's hope for something good. Well, that would have been death. One of the most dangerous mechanics in this entire game is placed in the first or the second zone rather. the hag circles here, they deal, I think, about 50 damage maybe, or something. And you have about 1.5 seconds or something to move out. If there are 2 of them, you know, that's easily a death sentence. And if you're on low health, not paying attention, that's a death sentence. It's great. I love it, but it's wow. It's such an aggressive mechanic. Oh, and they're even fire vulnerable. Yeah, Firebolt would probably be good. Adding more survivability here. And there's the boss, and I think I can get to level 4 before I need to go and fight her. I did last time. Let's see how that works out. I'm not going to fight you yet, lady. Apologies. So one of the things that would make this run infinitely easier would be the ability to store leveling items in the stash. But that would actually also take away from the challenge of the game, because one of the challenges of a lot of these RPG games is the journey and the so-called baselining of your character, making sure that your character deals the amount of damage that you need for that specific area that you're in. And I'm currently there because the game is designed so that even if you have absolutely nothing equipped, well, you do need some kind of gear, right? But no magic gear, no rare gear, you're still going to be able to handle these challenges. It's going to be extremely difficult and feel absolutely impossible as a new player. But it is, with a bit of knowledge, not that hard. You just need to know the mechanics. So by dying to the bosses a lot of times, preferably I think in softcore, you can actually, you can probably attain the knowledge you need very fairly quickly to deal with these early game shenanigans. But they've done a fantastic job at making this, making the early zones a complete gatekeep. Like this zone, for instance, the witches, I mean, they are no joke. They're no fun. Are we in a situation where actually... Oh wait, did I loot? I did not loot that, did I? Going to go and port there. Probably I could kill her now, I just don't want to. Oh wait, I did. Yeah, okay, there we go. It might be a skill gem that drops that. It might be a level 1 skill gem actually waiting for me in that box. It was. That's that's very unrewarding. Level 1 skill gem is not really going to do anything for you at this point. I don't know that there are any classes that need 3 skills from their available skill talents in the early game. I mean, I could actually go for the firewall here. I think that would actually be pretty good for me, considering I don't have any other power that I could use. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab the firewall. Let me just kill these guys. In the elemental tree, and we grab the firewall. Let's see, there we go. How am I getting the Beira of the Rotten Pack here? Maybe I should just go and kill her. I am going to go and kill her now. I think with the firewall I can easily do this. Let's go. do want to summon these guys. And now I freeze up. Yeah. The freeze is real. Yeah, I just need to kill her. But but it's interesting that, I mean, I'm making it more hard than it had to be. I could have gone more aggressively on it, but I chickened out a little bit. But having any item that basically moves your power creep more than one tier above the content you're doing is going to make wow. It's going to make your character I'm never going to take these off. Very, very different. Like having a staff that gives you like a level 4 ability, for instance, at a point in time where the only other item I have available is a level 1 skill, right? So level 4 as opposed to level 1. Well, the math is pretty clear on that one. Oh wait, no. Come on, Yuna. So I don't know. I think 10 is probably within the time. Well, okay, I purchased a little too many depending on my start money, but I would have emptied out my cash anyway. I'm just looking at the staves to see what it is that is available. Yeah, still that one is what that would be good, but yeah, I don't really need anything. Let's head back down. But it's super interesting to me that how absolutely insane the cantrips on those weapons, and what I mean by cantrip is spells that are non-mana cost bound, that they're so good because of the simple fact that you can add the Zenith support gem. Just gives you 30% damage on the spell. It is insane. I mean, it's so good that nothing really rivals it, to be fair. I don't know that I wanted to equip it on any character. Oftentimes the lightning arrow on any type of character that can actually use effectively use a bow and a quiver is the easiest way to get started, in my opinion. But outside of that, with a caster like this, with 0 added damage nodes to projectiles and whatnot, purely spells, I think this is probably unrivaled to have a staff with spell levels. But you know, we'll see what happens. We get the items we get and we play with that set of stuff. That's how that works. They are resistant to anything but fire, maybe. I didn't quite see, but they don't die very quick. That's a problem. So now I'm going to add damage to minions and to myself. Because the thing is about the increase, well, the mana regeneration, that's one thing, but the increased maximum energy shield is going to be minuscule. It's going to be practically negligible. I mean, 15% of 52. Well, that's like 7 or something. It's not going to matter anyway. And then 10% damage is 10% damage, and that's going to scale much more easily with basically anything that I get. So at this point, the 10% is worthless. But in a moment, when I get an item, it's going to be very, very strong. And I didn't get any level 2 spells either. I think that's one of the issues. I'm not quite sure. You know, where in the world my level 2 spells went. Now I'm shocked. So that's bad. Oh, the damage is just not there. Damage is not there. Damage is not there. It's a lot more of a struggle than last time. It's actually pretty cool that this game, it just, I mean, I don't care the asynchronicity, the randomness. I mean, who cares? It's great that you need to you can get extra challenged by poor luck, and you have to deal with that. That's great. And if you want power, I mean, you can play the trade league, and you can take currency, and you can head to the market, and you can get the stuff you want to play the builds that you want. So there is that option. But the fact that I can play this mode with this type of luck and this type of struggle is fantastic. I need a level 2 gem, or I need a staff or something with spell skill levels. Because my single skeleton archer and my small friends and my firewall is not cutting it at the moment. Once I finish this zone, if I survive, I'm going to get some type of weapon. I have to. I want to add the twig circlets. It's a little bit like, I'm not going to be, well, I could, should I? You know what, I'm doing this. I'm going to attempt this. 32% spell damage. Well, it's just that I need some kind of increase to what I'm doing here. There's the boss. Thinking that the fight might be, I don't remember what the power level I had when fighting the boss before was, but I'm quite sure that it's not higher, that's for sure. Okay, so the firewall does its job. Okay. Dies instantaneously. I need to pay attention. Where did the boss go? See, this is the situation where now the fight is drawing out, it's stunned. And this is where the minions, come on, firewall. The firewall is the solution there. If you don't have anything else going for you, the firewall is the solution. Alright, and we have an Exalted Orb, which is useless. Level 2 skill gem going into... let's see. I mean, I could even out of, you know, panic switch to Spark. I'm going to wait just a moment with deciding, but I do need to make a decision depending on what kind of item becomes available to me in the shop. So we're going to head there right now and see. All right, Una. I need to equip these. Okay. Was there anything with quality increase? No. Yeah, I do need to contemplate this just a little bit. So I'm going to use my other stash for this. What about the gems or the runes? Let's see. Oh yeah, there was a bit of runes from the last run. We're going to destroy those. I'm not sure if the chant shard was actually in there. I think it was. I think I got that actually this run, if I don't remember correctly. It's not going to make much of a difference. The unique stuff is not going to have any value in this type of run. But we're going to put those in. Oh, we're going to keep those because I do need to do that on the fly. So the runes are going to be socketed there. And all of this stuff doesn't exist. Okay, so let's go and see what Una can offer me. Now first let's talk to Mortimer. Has a support. So there's one support here. And there's one support here. It's going to add 2 support gems. So that's going to be the baseline for what I'm going to do. Let's see what we can do. I cannot improve a non-magical item. So that's that. And so a level 6 item I think actually is going to be better. I don't have any option to do anything at this level before the next level. Okay, so that's pretty clear. Okay, we're going to go for the spark spell temporarily. And the level 2 gems are not very expensive, so it's not going to matter. And then I'm going to quickly check if, because I already want the Zenith, so I can pierce these. And pierce, I'm also going to want pierce anyway. And probably the fortress. And this is all because of the situation where I need to use the other spells to make this work. Okay, good. Let's go. So that's a bit of an investment. It's pretty expensive to go and get skills in this kind of game that you don't need in the early game, because it does matter in that you kind of forego the opportunity or option to do something else. But I do think in particular with level 1 and level 2 and level 3 skill gems, you get those in abundance, and you most of the time you don't need all of those. So there is a bit of wiggle room to attempt things. And I do for a fact know that the Firewall and Spark spell is going to carry me even without maximum sorceress support from the passive tree. So it is going to work. I'll be taking a break in approximately 30 minutes because I do need to, and end the stream there, I think, because I do need to go to work. Okay. Still not very strong, but it's only level 2 spells, and I am in a zone where level 2 spells, fully decked level 2 spells is the baseline. And so as you can tell, the bolt, the single target bolt, is absolutely negligible. It doesn't do any damage, the chaos bolt, but this kind of does something. Does a little bit. And I do fire damage, which is pretty good. Let's see. Cast speed. Nope. Okay, extra power. Let's go. I think the worm is going to be a lot more dangerous this time around. The worm is going to be nasty. Nasty business. I mean, this is not a very strong source of single target damage. So it's going to be a long fight, and I'm going to cry and maybe die. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There is the probably. This is the replacement. I'm afraid. 60, 46 increased spell damage and increased cast speed. That is going to be the replacement at this point. And I can still use my boom. There we go. It is what it is. All right. So now we're stuck with ice shards, freezing shards. See what happens. And that actually needs piercing, which, or does it? Oh, we don't care. We don't care. We don't care. But the level 1 Chaos Bolt was absolutely worthless, so there was no chance in hell I was going to continue using that. No chance in hell. Probably I do want piercing for this, actually. Look at those fire shards going out. It works. And there is the support gem. Thank you very much. Zenith. Okay, so I could also go with the Zenith, which probably is the stronger choice. You know what? I'm going to drop my spark for this for the moment and just see where I can go with the pure ice shards here. Two-shotting things is decent enough on this spell. Yeah, look at that. That's going to carry. That's going to carry. Let's go. And imagine like 2 frost levels. I have levels of frost spells on this staff. Just imagine, that would be horrendous, insane. I mean, look at this already. You know, everything is working better than it was before. And there is the boss, which I think, I don't know if I need. I am going to go and farm the zone for that boss, for sure. I heavily dislike that boss. I have to say, it is not one of my favorite bosses. I think in a league starter, I would have kind of the same. I mean, it depends. It depends a little bit. If you get like a good item early on, that gives you a high level of particularly single target focused DPS. This is not it. The freezing shard spell is not the single target DPS that I'm looking for, because I need to be in absolute melee for the shards to all hit the same target. And at that point I need to control the fire that I'm adding here. How do I make sure that the fire is added? I need my positioning, the monsters are pushing me, and I don't deal enough damage, and I'm in melee with dangerous monsters, right? So that's but it works. I mean, I deal enough damage. Now I just need to stay alive. Fire damage added is insane. Look at this. Look at this. It works. It just works. And I don't know actually if the fortress support gems actually a mistake to use here. I'm just so used to using the support gem for that one because, you know, it makes everything so easy. You can just, when you use it together with Spark, you don't need to think. You just go into the middle of the circle and you send out the sparks, and they do the rest of the work with getting the fire enchantment. But I don't know if it actually lowers the added damage. Maybe that's possible to tell by the tooltip. I'm just going to check real quick. Oh, let me just clear this and I'll check it. Yeah, don't sprint if you're in a very dangerous place. Right here, I'm just dealing with these random trash mobs, and I'm a little bit bold. Oh, that's the Grim Tangle. That's good. That's a checkpoint. Thank you. Yeah, I think I can get like a full level of. Let's just quickly change that. There we go. See. Oh, that's a bit of mobs here. Yeah. So I can either freeze them or I can firewall and kill them. Tough choice. It's semi-decent. This is semi-decent. I dislike using a spell that I cannot control very well. Like the shards obviously fly forward, but and in a relatively predictable trajectory, but I still don't feel very comfortable using this as an ability. I avoid this like the plague when I play regularly on Trade League. Because the amount of damage that I do is dependent on me aiming, and that's a bad place to be, where the aim is the main precursor for how well you're going to do in a game like this. Oh god. Okay, so and here's the hut. I can go and kill the witch. Let's go. And she's frozen. Whoa. Incredible. Okay, so that's... I'm surprised. That was pretty good. Okay, let's see if we can add something to the flame wall spell. And we also need to add, let's see, prolonged duration for sure. Okay, so if I take out this, the damage increases. But if I look at, let's see, the projectile damage, 2 to 3 extra damage, and we add the gem and we check it again, it's the same. 2 to 3, 5 crit, 100 crit bonus. 2 to 3, same thing. So this is the fortress is an absolute win as a damage additive. You don't need to target with the firewall to be able to use the added damage. I mean, that's very important knowledge for me. Okay, there's a bit of unexplored stuff down there before I head in to fight. What does Una say? She says hello. She says go to the place with the thing. Okay. So the boss in here. Let's just go and clear out the last trash, and we fight the boss. I'm really curious to see if he's vulnerable, or if he's resistant to cold. That's an issue. I don't think he's resistant to fire. On the contrary, I think that's actually a vulnerability for that boss. So I think I'm going to be good. Okay, let's go and check. We're still going for the damage here. It's also more easy to... Okay. It's vulnerable to fire, but resistant to frost. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it works. It works. It works. That's good. Okay, so that concludes the zone, right? I think that concludes the zone. Alright. So I am going to go and finish the Red Vale, and then I am going to cut the stream short. I think this spell actually might be pretty decent for the hunting grounds, for the clearing. But you do need some kind of spell that hits more than one target, and having to be in melee, I think, was maybe a mistake on my part. My defenses at least were not on par for that to work. Oh, I actually forgot to go to town to get rid of my stuff. I'm going to do that. As if I had remembered. Otherwise this zone is going to be too ridiculous. I am going to shift towards energy shield as soon as humanly possible. Movement speed, we already have movement speed. Still going to keep those. Lightning resistance, no. Shabby hood, stun. And we're going to sell all of that stuff. Level 2 gem. Let's see the elemental firewall upgrade. And then maybe just upgrade the headpiece actually. There we go. That was pretty good. And a quick check on the inventory, nothing of interest. We are looking for spell damage and skill levels. Nothing. And gear from this guy. Going to purchase this for the sockets. You know what? I'm in a good place. Let's head out. Okay. We need anything else? Well, you know, there might be a situation where at this point the Frostbound probably could be okay. Because it adds a bit of a vulnerability in those situations where I need that, so I think probably that's going to be better. Yeah, let's go. Gotta say, I'm surprised how strong the staff or the wand abilities, the weapon abilities for the caster, how strong they are, coupled with the Zenith support gem. Like 30% extra damage all of the time, no conditions. You just spam it, and it deals a lot of damage. That's pretty good. That is absolutely at this point probably best in slot, I think. Yeah. Sure, there are better spells, better combinations, and definitely better classes or better weapons to use. But this is like bottom tier, right? I have no extra spell skills. It's absolutely bottom tier, and it works pretty well. With the Pierce and the Zenith. There we go, we just Pierce. And we have fire and frost damage going for us. It works. And it's by no measurement is this good. But it works, and that's the key here. And we add more damage. Having twink gear, for instance, unique items at this point, could add my total health pool to around more than 300 hit points, and more speed, more energy shield, all kinds of things through unique items with no level requirement, which will trivialize the entire experience instantaneously. Let's see, was this the third? This was the third one, so I'm just going to clear the zone before I do the boss. That's a bit more. I'm just going to clear this. But aiming with the ability is a bit of a nightmare. It targets, and then it doesn't seem to me with the hitbox mobs. I mean, if I'm at a slightly bad angle, all of these shards are going to miss the target that they're intended for. That's a bit ew. So mechanically, this is a horrible skill for sure. Super horrible. Compared to the Firebolt, like, which is much more in your face. Look at me, I'm working. Even if the damage is maybe not that big, not that good. So this fight is going to be longer than before. It freezes though, but that's good. For the clan, and now is... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm getting a few more mechanics here. Okay, he's summoning again. It's good. It's funny that with the with the elemental infusion stuff from this patch, having Spark as an ability that I can then, access in those very specific situations is actually not half bad, and that's kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting that to happen. You have a spell on your repertoire. You don't really use it, but it gets an infusion, and in that instance, it could prove to give you a bit of value. That's kind of interesting. I'm going to carry on just a little bit more because I actually need don't need that much time to get prepared for work, so I am going to carry on into the next zone, I think. The loading times are incredible. My CPU is working full time, it seems. Grim Tangle. Oh wait, hooded one over here. Yeah. And so we're at that stage where I need to do a bit of RP before I can carry on. And I also need to identify my stuff and sell it most likely. And luckily some of this stuff is actually worth more than the scroll. Selling. Evasion life. So many things. Go be equipped. Sell, sell, sell. Right. And we have a tier 3 gem, which is great. We're currently going to use it on... What are we using? We're using the ice projectiles. Do I want to add any lightning to this setup before I do the change? I don't use Unearth that much. I don't have any spirit, so do I want to use the bone cage? Not really, not yet. So yes, the flame wall is going to get the upgrade. And we cannot use this gem yet, so... Oh, wait, do I want to... Actually, I'm gonna just I'm gonna keep these in my inventory. You know, if I die, I want them expended anyway. So it's not like it makes any sense not keeping them there. It has fire resistance. Do I want to improve this item? No, I don't. Do we have any staffs? Anything interesting for me? No, you do not. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next zone. Oh wait, this is... I love the fact that they do these things in this game. The RP, the quest solving, the gates, keeping the blocking for content. You need to do this and that before you can do Y and C. It's fantastic. It's absolutely wonderful. Having a quest that requires you to enter a loading screen like this, on the other hand, going into town, waiting for the portal to be cast, heading into town, loading, waiting, going for the NPC, going back, loading, waiting, is not. And that's the reason why this quest is a bit annoying. And then I need to speak to Renly. I need to speak to Una. I need to go back, activate Una, and then I would wager 2 minutes backwards and forwards with loading screens and whatnot. That's a very unfun element once you've done this a few times. And that's not to cause negativity, it is simply because I find it to be a super duper annoying element in this game. Look at that. That's a lot of... I can't afford that. Damn it. That would be pretty good. Wow. Okay. Anywho, moving on. Did I talk to all of the NPCs? Oakham Village, entrance to Grim Tangle. Okay, good. Okay. Heading back into the Grelwood. Checkpoint. Grim Tangle. And we go. And so, I mean, I still consider the Grim Tangle one of the most the Clearfell camp zone, very dangerous with no gear, and but you're very focused when you're level 2, right? And this zone is very, 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 very hard or very dangerous because of all of the poison damage. So, I mean, without a lot of damage, you need to kind of be careful here. And the firewall component simply melts these guys. Okay, look at this. Look at this shit. Oh my god. Sorry for the cursing. don't need that. Oh, the firewall duration. Oh man, I wish it was just longer. These I think this is one of the things that I'm going to be saying a lot is the seasonal mechanic, the abyssal mechanic here is introducing a difficulty level which far exceeds the difficulty level of the current zone that you're playing in. And that means that the bosses in the zones are going to be a cakewalk compared to the chaos damage bosses or invasions that you're facing. The mob types, very dangerous. The bosses, extremely dangerous. And the damage type, chaos, very, very nasty. And you don't have any kind of real defense against it. If you're an energy shield character, your energy shield is going to be ripped apart very quickly unless you play very carefully. And very rewarding, particularly when you can only do the area once. Extremely rewarding, but pretty dangerous. I mean, I love it as a seasonal mechanic, and I expect that any of the seasonal mechanics that Grinding Gear Games is going to introduce into this game are going to be present very early, meaning that you're going to be meeting it already, and you're going to be facing it already in the first couple of areas that you enter, and that's great. But it's very kind of unthematic. It doesn't tie into the story in any way outside of, corruption is corruption, and corruption obviously has to do with one another, no matter the source. But like also power creep wise, and I'm not talking about the crafting, but the difficulty basically of the invasions. I mean, I love it because that's what the game needs. It needs to be more difficult. But it's extremely out of tune with the context. So this area is dangerous, but if you add in a seasonal mechanic with extra chaos damage, we get to a place where it's ridiculous. And at this point is ridiculous. It's like if you ask a new player, hey, play hardcore, they're going to die down here for sure fighting the abyssal packs. There's no doubt about it. And so they instead of adding that very difficult content, particularly in the early game, they should probably focus on tuning the difficulty level of the game in itself. And if you don't have a very overpowered character, this is not a very overpowered character, you do face a bit of trouble. But look at this, I don't have any problems killing these guys anyway. So that's pretty much, in my opinion, the thing. And they kind of, the most important bit is that they don't punish melee too much, so they need to actually add some kind of extra damage to ranged characters. Like in the boss fights, you're rewarded if you're melee, which is fine, but that also means ranged characters are also going to be in melee, because that's the safest place to be in 75% of the boss fights. But in this case, for instance, having to fight these guys in a melee situation is not something that you want. Boom. Jesus. Okay, I should be there in a second now. That's too. Okay, that wasn't the plan. Okay, let's do this. Oh, that's the one you want to avoid. And now stuff is happening. Oh, that was the rock. Okay, great. And this is where, but this is, I mean, I was actually hoping just a little bit that playing this game mode, I would have to deal with mechanics of the game, which this is mechanics of the game. This is mechanics. And there we go. Because that's the fun part. One of the problems with this game, which probably I'm assuming any ARPG and any game really, is that when your character exceeds the expected or required power level of a given zone, in this case, the game is simply over. So, for instance, this character is currently in a stage where it's not particularly strong. It's working with the good graces, but it's not very strong. And like I'm just adding a couple of gems right now. Let's see, do I want anything else? This point frost bomb probably. Let's go. Jesus, I'm in a bad spot. Not having a weapon is no joke in this game. No joke at all. Do I want to see what I can get here? It's not good enough. I do want to change spell if I can. Even if having a cold spell is pretty good. Half of the power in the frost spell section is the ability to freeze targets, which is great, but you need to really double down on that, and it needs to be reliable. So having using like dipping into the frost spells without having the sort of ability to really make them strong is super shit. So this is extremely temporary, and I want to go into the lightning spells because the shock effect is just absolutely bonkers. So let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go. I actually totally forgot about this zone a moment ago. I was like, oh, I'm going to clear the cemetery. It's going to be great. So I don't quite know how to do this. Probably I need to end the video just after finishing this area so that I can then do the cemetery in a clean way once I get back online. Do need to look at those. Maximum life. I think it's going to be difficult to replace those, to be fair. And it's like in this game, you particularly since the last patch. Where do I need to go? Oh, I need to go up there. In this game, you want to craft your own items, particularly in this patch, but you don't want to craft your items in the beginning of the game. You don't want to do the random crafting too much because it's too weak. So I could go and craft, for instance, my. I'm going to clear this zone. I could craft my. Try to craft the new staff. But the problem is, it's very difficult, and I could go and purchase a new staff from Una much more easily. This is these mobs already kind of nasty. Yeah. This is where the power creep ends. You need those. You need the spell levels. The spell levels carry for sure. Oh my god. And you know, it's like you simply cannot build anything on the ice shards here. It's impossible. Also, another thing that I could have done, I could have dipped into the Ice Nova spell, which is also ridiculous, but that's the same problem. It needs the spell levels to really function. This staff actually has cast speed, so there's that. I mean, the ice shards greatly benefit from cast speed. Because it's a slow spell and you want the spell to be faster. Let's see. This is a great zone. It's a great zone. I have no idea what's going on. I'm in the middle of a cemetery. And it's like demigods or something, but I have no clue what in the world is going on here. A lot of monsters. It looks great. The very thematic, and the monsters are very well done. The atmosphere is splendid, and everything is great. But like, what in the world's going on? I'm sure that this area and Act 1 in particular tells like 90% of the story of this game, because this is where you find the Hooded One. This is where you meet the Beast, and Count Jornor is the one who actually released the Beast. So it's extremely important lore-wise what's going on here, but like it's to the point where you need to go and read somebody's analysis of like, what am I doing in a cemetery suddenly with like where gods have lived, and it doesn't seem to be cursed or corrupted in any way. It's just, you know, the undead are everywhere, and you know, the undead have every reason to get out of their graves and walk around in any kind of action game or adventure game. So you never question why are there skeletons? Why are the skeletons like moving around and being you know, active? What caused them to activate? So no reason. You don't care. Of course, you're at a cemetery. Where are the skeletons? And I didn't actually go and vendor again. I don't care. I'm just going to run through this. We'll see. Let me just go and check if I can actually up any of my spells. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm going to suffer through this, I think, with ice shards. There's the consort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and grab the waypoints there, and then I'm going to head into town that way. The Suli ring. See, that's actually interesting to me. The rings could be good. And I have no idea why the damage is so clunky. Sometimes I deal damage, other times it feels like I don't deal any damage. And I'm looking forward to my next healing potion. Oh my god. Oh, it's cold. It's because those are cold resistant. That's the thing. That is the thing. So without the fire damage, it's a shit show. Good. Good to know. And so all of the projectiles are infused with fire. And for every projectile infused with fire, if the target hits, obviously, the shard is infused with, drumroll, 3 to 4 extra damage, 3 to 5 extra damage, and that's apparently enough to make a difference. Oh god. And the freezing shards do a damage of 7 to 9. So 7 to 9 is not a lot, but you add 3 to 5, that's 50% increased damage basically from that exchange. So using flame wall or firewall in conjunction with any other projectile skill, particularly one that adds more targets, like more shards like this one, is very good. So for instance, when I have to fight these waves, if they are in like a narrow path, yeah, like this for instance, suddenly I get huge value. Oh, so much damage. Now I have 2 levels that I haven't spent. I'm going to go and spend those. There we go. And I have no idea what kind of a rift this is, but I feel like it's unending. I think we've already had the invasion. Oh, there it goes, there it comes. Okay. Okay, firewall up, and come on. We're being, goddamn, we're being backstabbed here. Okay, let's go. Like it. I mean, it works, but it's... Oh, this is... I don't want to be there. This is like... This can easily kill me if I get into a tumble spree where I keep on adding more stuff and I don't get to kill the... The issue is that I need to target. So the difference between using, for instance, using Spark alongside with fire, with Flame Wall, is that the small sparks are going to find targets on their own, and they're going to be very effective about it, and that means that's the whole difference. So like I can add, now currently I'm not using Spark because I don't want to. Oh, there we go, there is the Regal Orb. So I can Regal this, has the cast speed, has the spell damage. I can Regal this and it can add shit and it can add good things. I can Regal this because there's a bigger chance that I'm going to get the desired. I'm going to Regal this. There we go. There we fucking go. And I'm going to mash this through. And we actually got, let's see, that was actually almost perfect. So the added spell damage was already there, and now the gain is there, which is insane. Okay, stop it. And so the gain is there, which is insane. It's a better cantrip spell. It has the life per enemy killed and intelligence, which is, you know, doesn't matter, but it has the most important things. And now I can actually equip that. And with the zenith, keep that there. Let's quickly see. And we can add the area. Maybe I can do more things with it, but this is good enough as is. And then we'll keep the spark in the rotation, I think. Maybe it's not that important, but Maybe I do. Well, I don't care. Let's see. Wait, is that? Oh, it doesn't have any downsides. Okay, great. This is just. It's so much fun. I love this. I love this spell. Yeah. So I'm grabbing the way that I'm going to handle this because I need to go. Is that I'm going to go in and grab the waypoints. That way, I'm not going to pass through monsters in the Cemetery of the Eternals once I pick this up. Which is the way that I want to do it, because I do want to complete every zone, get all of the XP that I can, go to town, do my thing, and then head back down. So I'm going to go to the consort as well, get the waypoint there. And then I'm probably going to be done. And that's kind of the compromise. I mean, I obviously I would love to continue doing this, but the compromise is that I get the waypoints and then skip the zone when I get back in there, so that I have minimal repetition to no repetition. So by clearing the Cemetery of the Eternals, I think I get to around level 8. It's my assumption. And I get to level 10 or maybe level 11 before Lachlan. I think that's the expected goal. Oh, okay, I'm looking forward to the fix of the servers. What's going on? Level 9, actually, level 9.5. Okay. Okay. Hello, Una. Let's do this. Let's just stash the superior stuff and the socketables. And I'm looking forward to getting that crafting bench as well. I'm assuming that if you do this enough, at some point it becomes too difficult to manage the what have I done as opposed to what haven't I done situation. And I don't know. We'll see. The Iron Rune. So the Iron Rune, probably I would want that in, a very good. This is not like the ultimate low-level staff. It has 5 attributes. 2 of the affixes are worthless. The extra lightning damage is extremely good. That's probably the goat of this item outside of the levels, skill levels. But those two things together is going to be the shit. I'm going to grab an uncut level 3 gem, and that's because it's not very important here. And simply get the bone cage online here. So I'm going to grab that on the, well, I don't know, do I want it? Yeah, I want it on that button there. Yeah, that's the system I'm going to run with. We'll see how that goes. It's like it's incredible. Like when you look at these purchase items, it's very rare that you don't find something that's going to take care of business for you. And this is just not the case currently. If I add them to my runes here, this is the right place for them. There you go. And then we need the pierce somewhere. And I think that's going to go into the spark spell. Yeah, all of these abilities are really worthless. Like the fireball is not very good. It's like a firebolt, but it's better. And you need fire infusing, and that means you need to living bomb stuff. So there's a ramp up. You need to add the living bomb to add the fireballs. Difference is that the living bomb is not very strong. So you send it out and you manage to kill. Well, you need to target something. That's the first problem. You need to target a weak monster that easily dies, and then you need to fire fireballs into that monster. But in a group of monsters, you might end up in a situation where the small monster is hiding behind other monsters, and you're still targeting. It's very, very impractical. It doesn't work very well. So in principle, in theory and in practice, these 2 abilities are worthless. The Ice Nova spam is going to work for any type of fight. It's going to freeze dangerous monsters, is going to be very, very good, very strong, and generally work very well. I could go for it right now, close my eyes and hold down the button, but I don't want to. The Frost Darts probably there's some kind of gimmick where these are going to be very good, and I wish I knew. And the Orb of Storms is a very OP ability together with lightning spells, so that combination there. But so all of the spells on this tier is something that either is extremely strong or very weak, and at best dubious. And I don't want to do the Essence Drain Contagion. I'm going to do bone spells for this run, but I am going to actually upgrade this, I think, and add it to, where do we go, down here, just to have that like in the back of my hand in case I need to do that thing. And this is a fire resistant chest, probably adding fire resistance to this. Yeah, so now I'm on a high level of fire resistance, and I'm going to keep the chest and not spend energy on doing anything to the chest. I'm very happy about this stuff. It's very good. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you next time. Do I want to gamble an amulet before I ring? I don't. I cannot afford it. Thank you very much, and stay safe.